All right, tea spill time. And this one's boiling hot. Balenciaga isn't having it with Meghan Markle this time. Yep, you heard that right. The luxury fashion giant, the brand that practically defines edgy high fashion, is reportedly flat out disappointed after what went down at Paris Fashion Week. And insiders? Oh, they're saying the energy inside Balenciaga's headquarters right now is icy cold. The word on the street is that Meghan completely missed the mark, turning what could have been her big "I'm back" fashion world moment into yet another headline, for all the wrong reasons. Now let's be honest, Meghan has been working overtime trying to carve out her spot in the high fashion elite ever since stepping away from royal life. But this latest stunt, it didn't sit well with the creative heads at Balenciaga. In fact, rumor has it they found her outfit off-brand, overdone, and confused. One insider spilled that the vibe was like she's trying way too hard to be seen, but it didn't feel authentic. Balenciaga, they said, is all about presence, not performance. And Meghan's look was giving performance, big time. The look that broke the internet. The issue, according to fashion insiders, wasn't just the outfit itself, it was the message it sent. Meghan showed up rocking what was supposed to be a bold, avant-garde look, but instead of elegance, critics said it screamed desperation. Ouch. One fashion editor even joked it looked like a Pinterest board gone rogue. Savage, right? But hey, that's the fashion world for you. No one gets a free pass, not even a Duchess. Balenciaga's frustration reportedly hit its peak after seeing the social media backlash. Stylists and influencers were already roasting her look before the show even ended. By that evening, hashtags mocking her outfit were trending, and that's when whispers began spreading. Whispers that Balenciaga's top brass were absolutely furious. Apparently, the brand had plans. Yep, plans to include Meghan in a future campaign. But now, that's on pause, maybe even permanently off the table. When confidence looks like confusion. People in the room said Meghan seemed totally oblivious to the quiet side eyes her look was getting. She smiled, posed, waved, like everything was picture perfect. But according to insiders, Balenciaga reps were visibly irritated. This wasn't the Meghan moment the fashion world was expecting. One attendee even told reporters, Balenciaga prides itself on strong, clean statements. This was messy. And here's why it stings even more. Balenciaga has been working hard to rebuild its reputation after a few past controversies. They've been super selective about who they align with lately. Meghan, once seen as a modern symbol of empowerment, seemed like a safe bet. Until now, the last thing Balenciaga needed was another PR storm, especially tied to someone whose image already divides public opinion. Meghan's complicated relationship with fashion. Let's be real. Meghan had to know this could happen. Her relationship with fashion has always been complicated. Some people call her bold and experimental, while others say she's completely lost her sense of style identity. She went from simple, timeless elegance during her royal era to this Hollywood meets rebellion phase that, according to fashion experts, feels forced. One critic even went as far as to say, she's dressing like she wants revenge. But fashion, they added, isn't therapy. Still, Meghan's team? Oh, they're in full damage control mode right now. A source close to her team claimed they're frantically reaching out to stylists and PR execs to spin the story, calling it a creative risk that just didn't land. But honestly, the industry isn't buying it. Once a fashion house like Balenciaga decides they're done, that's it. They're done. They've got too much at stake to be seen endorsing inconsistency, especially from someone under constant media scrutiny. When brands start backing away, and get this, quiet whispers are spreading that other luxury brands are also pulling back from Meghan. The reason? She's become unpredictable. For high-end marketing, that's a nightmare. One stylist spilled the tea. You never know if Meghan will pull off the look or make the brand look completely out of touch. Harsh? Maybe? True? Probably. Because in fashion, consistency sells, but it's not all doom and gloom. Meghan's fans are defending her like warriors on social media, claiming the backlash is exaggerated. They argue she's being unfairly targeted for her independence and her refusal to fit into old royal molds. They say she's evolving, taking creative risks, and trying to explore her style. And that's what fashion should be about. But the critics? They're calling it a branding identity crisis. The fallout spreads beyond fashion. Now, here's where it gets messy. Hollywood has started whispering too. Word is, some designers are now nervous about working with her ahead of next year's awards season. If that's true, it could be a huge setback for Meghan's plans to rebrand herself as a style icon and business powerhouse. Because, let's not sugarcoat it, Meghan's been laser-focused on claiming her place among Hollywood's elite and the fashion upper crust. But that world, it's brutal. It's full of politics, egos, and billion-dollar brands that don't forgive easily. Meanwhile, Balenciaga's side has gone silent. No public statement, no clarification, just silence. And in the world of fashion, that silence is louder than any official press release. Because when a brand like Balenciaga stops talking about you, it means they've already moved on. Fame versus fashion credibility. So, what's next for Meghan? She might have to totally rethink her strategy. The royal charm that once made her the center of attention doesn't quite land the same way in designer circles. In the luxury fashion world, titles don't mean much. It's all about taste, confidence, and authenticity. Get those wrong, and no amount of fame can save you. Paris Fashion Week was supposed to be her comeback moment. Instead, it turned into another headline, another reminder that the industry she's trying to conquer isn't half as forgiving as her fans. Balenciaga's disappointment has now become the talk of every fashion boardroom and every gossip channel in the industry. And for a woman trying to rewrite her story, that's the last thing she needed, because at the end of the day, this isn't just about a dress, it's about credibility. In the ruthless world of fashion, one wrong outfit can cost millions. In partnerships, in image, in reputation. And Meghan, she has the power, the influence, and the attention. But fashion houses like Balenciaga are reminding everyone, they have the power to walk away. If she wants to win their trust again, she'll have to show she can carry a brand without turning it into a spectacle. Until then, Balenciaga's cold shoulder is a pretty harsh reminder that fame doesn't always translate to fashion. A harsh reality check. Now everyone's wondering, will she learn from this or double down? Because if she keeps pushing the wrong buttons, even Hollywood might start looking the other way. And in that world, silence from Balenciaga isn't just disapproval, it's exile. Behind all that glitter, camera flashes, and polished press smiles, there's a story Meghan Markle probably hoped would never see the light of day. But oh honey, the insiders are talking, and it's not pretty. Word in the fashion circuit is that Meghan's been quietly chasing Balenciaga for months. Yup, months. She's been trying to lock down a major partnership, the kind that could have pushed her right back into elite territory. But here's the catch. Balenciaga wasn't fooled. They saw right through the performance. To them, Meghan wasn't bringing originality. She was bringing imitation, dressed up as ambition. The chase that backfired. Sources close to the brand spilled that Meghan had her team reaching out since early summer, scheduling meetings, pitching collaborations, even floating the idea of an ambassadorship. The pitch? To position Meghan as the new global face of modern empowerment and luxury. It sounded impressive on paper, sure. But insiders say the vibe around her name just didn't match Balenciaga's direction. They wanted mystery and substance. Meghan, they felt, was giving noise without nuance. One fashion executive didn't even hold back, saying bluntly, she wanted Balenciaga to sign her, but they were too smart for that. They saw the game. And that game? Meghan's relentless pursuit of influence through image. A move that might have worked in royal circles but doesn't fly in the cutthroat world of haute couture. Imitation or inspiration? The industry's harsh verdict. See, Balenciaga built its empire on rebellion, artistry, and a fearless point of view, not recycled aesthetics wrapped in a famous name. Insiders say the Balenciaga executives sitting in the front row were visibly unimpressed. They said her look didn't feel innovative. It felt copied, like she was recreating Balenciaga's old runway themes without bringing anything fresh. The brands that walked away. This isn't the first time a luxury brand has quietly stepped back from Meghan. Balenciaga, on the other hand, isn't afraid to draw hard lines. They've turned down celebrities way more famous than Meghan before. Because here's their golden rule. Fame isn't what they sell. Edge is. And in their eyes, Meghan's edge felt borrowed. When two worlds don't mix, Balenciaga thrives on unpredictability, that kind of raw creativity that feels almost chaotic but intentional. Meghan, on the other hand, thrives on control. Carefully curated images, every pose planned, every headline timed. Those two worlds, they just don't mix. Behind the scenes, her PR team has been trying to spin things. They've been whispering to outlets that Meghan's in talks with multiple brands, that fashion houses are lining up to collaborate with her. But according to insiders, that's just smoke and mirrors. They say what she's actually been getting are polite no thank yous, wrapped in flowery PR language. And the hardest one of all? Balenciaga's refusal. Because Meghan had already been dressing like she was part of their world, and when the brand didn't bite, it left her exposed. The influence game critics are calling this whole situation another case of Meghan trying to buy influence instead of earning it. In Hollywood, that kind of strategy can work. Money, power, and visibility open doors. But fashion? Fashion has its own set of rules. You can't fake authenticity. You can't buy credibility. And Balenciaga saw through it. They saw someone chasing validation, not collaboration. That's why, according to insiders, they quietly began distancing themselves before Paris Fashion Week even started. Yup, the decision to walk away was made long before Meghan's headline-grabbing appearance. Control versus creativity. People who've worked with Balenciaga say the brand values creativity and the kind that's unpredictable, emotional, and raw. But Meghan's reputation for controlling narratives and demanding spotlight, that clashes with everything Balenciaga stands for. One insider said, "She doesn't adapt, she dominates," and that's not what Balenciaga wants. It's such a shame because on paper, that partnership could have been huge. Balenciaga's influence paired with Meghan's global recognition. It had the potential to shake up the culture. But fashion isn't about potential, it's about alignment. And somewhere between her royal exit and her Hollywood transformation, Meghan seems to have lost her stylistic compass. The problem with chasing trends. Even Meghan's harshest critics admit she's got potential. They just think she's been chasing trends instead of creating them. Her wardrobe choices over the past year show flashes of brilliance, moments where she seems to really find herself. But then, just as quickly, she slips back into imitation territory. Every new look feels like it's referencing someone else's statement rather than expressing her own evolution. And when you're trying to impress a brand like Balenciaga, that's the fastest way to get dismissed. The aftermath, and the lesson insiders believe this rejection might be a wake-up call for her. Because let's face it, the message couldn't be clearer. Fashion doesn't need Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle needs fashion. If she truly wants a seat at the table, she's going to have to stop copying the menu and start cooking her own style. Until she does, the big brands will keep watching her from afar, curious, cautious, and unconvinced. The final word. For now, Balenciaga has quietly moved on. They're already collaborating with fresh, bold creatives who bring real originality to the table, people who surprise, not imitate. Meanwhile, Meghan's reportedly regrouping, planning her next appearance carefully. But here's the reality. Damage control only goes so far. The industry has already started whispering the unspoken truth. She tried to play the fashion elite, and they played her right back. It's a hard pill to swallow for someone who's used to headlines going her way. But in fashion, power doesn't come from attention. It comes from credibility. And once that's gone, no amount of glamour, fame, or PR spin can bring it back. Will Meghan bounce back? Of course, she might bounce back. She always does. Meghan's resilience is part of what makes her fascinating. But if she wants to earn fashion's respect, she's going to have to shift gears, stop following, and start leading. Because Balenciaga made one thing crystal clear. They know the difference between influence and imitation, and they'll never confuse the two. They'll never